In this video, you will learn how to write academic summaries to capture the main ideas in your own words. First off, what is an academic summary? A summary is a condensed overview of the main content of an article or a book section. Without reading the full article, the person that reads your summary should understand the main information that the author gave. So what makes a good summary? A key point to remember is that a good summary represents the original author's ideas. So it needs to be accurate. It needs to say, what did that author really say in the article? It should give a sense of the whole text. It's also important to know that even though you're conveying the author's ideas, you're paraphrasing. You're writing the author's ideas in your own words and in your own voice. And lastly, it doesn't include any of your ideas or any opinions. A good summary also uses appropriate academic style. A summary is concise, so as you're writing, you'll want to think carefully about what words are really necessary. It gives a sense of the whole text, and it uses an appropriate academic style. So, how do you go about writing a good summary? An important strategy is to read and take notes first. Don't attempt to write a summary while you're reading an article the first time or looking directly at the article. Why is this important? Well, trying to write a summary while you're reading the article can lead to accidental plagiarism when you're reading the phrases in the article and copying them over into your own summary. So, what do you do instead? Read and take notes first. The first step is to skim the article. When you're skimming the article, you're reading it over quickly to get a sense of the big picture. Next, go back and read the article carefully. You may want to ask yourself some questions, like who, what, where, when, why, and how. These will help you discover the main points of the article. After you've done that, ask yourself, what is the main point that the author makes in this article? This will be important information to include in the first sentence of your summary. Now, take notes in a separate document. As you're making notes, you will want to paraphrase. So when you make your notes, don't copy word for word from the original article. As you write your notes, paraphrase the main content in your own words. So, how do you write a good paraphrase? One way of doing that is to follow the 4-step paraphrase method. So the first step, you're going to read the section of the text you want to paraphrase carefully until you're sure that you understand the meaning. If there's any words that you don't understand, now's a great time to look them up. When you're done reading the section, it might be a few sentences or a paragraph. You'll say the key ideas you want to paraphrase in your own words. Now, turn the article over or put the book away. Write your paraphrase in your own words without looking at the original text. This will really help you to write it in your own words and in your own voice. Lastly, to make sure that you really have the main ideas, open the book or look at the article again and check to see that the meaning is accurate. So, now that we've talked about how to paraphrase, let's actually take a few minutes and practice. Pause and try the 4-step paraphrase method. So on the screen now, you see a quotation for you to try paraphrasing. Pause the video and go back and do the 4 steps that we just talked about. Read, say it out loud, close your screen or look away and write the paraphrase in your own words, and finally come back and see how accurate your paraphrase was. So pause here and do the activity, and when you're done, press play and continue on. Now that you've read the text, you've taken some notes and done your paraphrasing, it's time to start writing. The first sentence of a summary is very important. It has a few key components. It must include the author's name. It should include the name of the book or the article that you're summarizing. And lastly, it should include the central thesis, in other words, the main argument of the text that you're summarizing. Here's an example of what a first sentence might look like. In the book, University 101, published in 2018, Christina Page outlines a path that first-year university students can follow to achieve academic success. So if you notice in the sentence, the author's name, Christina Page, is included, the title of the book, University 101, is included, and there's a brief 1-sentence summary of the main point of that book. Now that you've done your first sentence, it's time to move on to writing the rest of your summary. The paraphrases that you created as you wrote your notes will form the foundation of your summary. You'll want to use direct quotes, that is, word for word quotes and quotation marks, very sparingly, if at all. Now that you've written your first draft, it's time to edit. First important tip is to take some time away from writing before you edit. When you start your editing, focus on the big picture first. Does your summary clearly show the author's main argument? Are all of the main points included, and does it flow well? Next, move on to editing grammar, spelling, and punctuation. So now, you've worked through the main steps in writing a summary. Take some time to start your summary now and put these steps into action. If you need to review, go back and watch some or all of this video again.